Hello fellow humans and weirdos alike. Probably not going to be the intro for the rest of this channel, but today I'm going to be reviewing the Jeffree Star Alien Palette. I started off with my base and everything. All the stuff that I used will be linked below. So will my Instagram, his channel, and his products, the ones that I use at least. Obviously the Alien Palette isn't available at the moment, sorry. Not to tease, but still. For those who do have it and don't exactly know what to do with it, I'm going to be showing you what to do today. Well, hopefully. You do you, but still, I'm going to attempt. So, that is exactly what we will be doing now. Also, just keep in mind this was my first video, and on top of that I'm using my phone, so the quality is absolutely horrendous. I try to get some natural lighting, Violet Chachki's legs, what more do you need, but we'll pretend. So I'm going to start off by using Titan, because although it is darker than my skin tone by a bit, just a little bit, not much, it's a bit more yellow. And so it's really good for starting off by kind of just setting my eyes, especially since what I'm going for is kind of just a universal look that almost anyone can use. Technically speaking, if you're darker skin tone, you won't be able to use Titan to set your eyelids. It's probably not the best idea. But if you're even remotely white, then you should be fine, because it's pretty pale. Sorry, my nose contour is a bit weird today. Also, for starters, there is a bit of kickback, I do notice. The payoff is amazing. However, it is one of those eyeshadows, and I absolutely adore Jeffree Star, but I'm going to be completely honest, so that everyone understands what they are buying or what they may end up buying, depending on if he brings it back out or something. There is a good amount of kickback. Fallout, however, that's something I have not really experienced, even with the black. I did a look and it's on my Instagram, and it's black and green, and it's pretty crazy. I have black lips, stuff like that, and I literally had one tiny fleck of black come off, and that was absolutely it. That was it. That was it. And it actually kind of amazed me, because I've used a good amount of black eyeshadows, because I just really like my eyes to look like they've been beaten to death. Like, I love a good bruised eye look. I don't know why. I just do. So the purple in here definitely spoke to me, because I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing, because that's perfect for like looking like you just got punched in the eye because you hit on someone else's man and you gay, so you deserve it just automatically. I'm very good at deprecating jokes, so if you're here to watch someone else make fun of themselves, you are in the correct place. So what I'm going to do is I put Titan all over. I also did it on the under eye, and I feathered it out to kind of create a more of a natural cat eye. Since it's a fleshy tone, it kind of will just automatically, and it's a bit darker, it'll cut off between my brow bone and my under eye. So it pops this up a lot more, and I put highlight underneath my foundation, so already there's kind of something going on there, but it's even more so, and I actually think it always looks a bit nicer to start off with Titan, because I've been using this for a little while and playing around with it to see what I should do when I do the review. And so I knew I was going to do something a bit more simple. Even though it's the Alien Palette, I haven't seen many people use the Alien Palette in its simplest form, because it's the Alien Palette, so everyone's looking, they're trying to make themselves look like an alien or otherworldly. So I thought, why not go against the grain, per usual? So I'm going to use X-Files, and I'm going to use a big fluffy brush, but I'm not going to take too much of it. Now with the darker shades in here, you won't realize you actually have it on your brush at first. Or at least that's what I've noticed. I don't know if you can see, but I dipped in it just like once or twice. And watch. So there's not too much. But what's funny is you can, there's no, and it's a darker brush, but I'm gonna dip just a little bit more. And I'm just gonna literally pat this on my eyelid and kind of feather it up outwards. I'm gonna blow it out just a little bit. And if you pat, it really does get amazing payoff. And this doesn't have to be perfection whatsoever. Because if you're even lighter, not lighter, darker, Jesus, than me, you will not really see this at first whatsoever. And then once you start layering, then all of a sudden you have to go back in and kind of perfect it. But see, not too dark, but it gives something. I'm gonna try to control it a bit more. And then I want you to feather it up all throughout there, and then really good. Like, kind of take it to where you would take Titan, where, because I used an angle brush with Titan. So it's an angled eye brush, and I took it, and when I did it, I just went like that. And since it's a fleshy tone, at least on me, it kind of just creates somewhat of a natural contour for my eye. And for this is the start to the depth and just the shadow in general, because actually this is our first shadow. But I want you to, well, I'm going to too, obviously, but when you do this, if you're going to create it, I want a lot of it just feathered up and out that way. So inside, especially in the corner, you shouldn't see it at all, because X-Files isn't what anyone wants to see in their inner corner. It's just too dark for most Caucasians, and so if you're not careful, it'll just, then you'll get into the bruised eye look, which, as I said, I do enjoy, but that's not what we're going for today. So again, just kind of patting and then a bit of smudging, because again, it doesn't have to be perfect, just don't get it too close to your inner corner, because then also you can't create depth outwards, because if you have too much here, you're going to start layering it downwards, and then you're going to create a cat eye that kind of goes down instead of out, and it's going to lift still, but it's going to create a narrowed eye instead of still keeping your eye big, but then also cat eye. But it depends on what you want in the end. I used a bit too much powder today to set, but I set and then I also use setting spray. So I don't use too much powder, in my opinion at least. I have a good amount of siblings. You probably just heard them. So just keep in mind, they do curse a bit, and I don't want people having their children or something next to them and then all of a sudden have to clog their children's ears because they hear a curse word. So I'm just warning you now, there is a bit of cussing in the background. I would never, but my siblings do. I'm the eldest and I try to make them realize, but it never works. So again, and I'm still using X-Files, so I'm gonna post an actual picture of this as well, because this camera doesn't do these shadows like justice in the slightest. So, and especially since I'm using primarily natural lighting to catch it mostly, it's just not really working at all. But I wanted to get some form of video out before it was kind of like, oh, okay, you're doing a tutorial on a palette that's already been out for like 4 or 5 months. I don't want it to be old. I don't want my first video to already just start off by being old news. Okay, so now that I have it pretty much as blown out as it could be, although I shave off the ends of my eyebrows, so I could go like out, but there's no reason to do that. That just would look a bit too much, literally. What I contemplated doing, excuse me, was using UFO or moon rock, but then I kept thinking to myself, and I was like, people are not going to use that. Well, some people will, to cut their crease, if they're going to layer down a gray, a mauve wgray. And so I was like, okay, so then what else can I do? So I thought about doing Space Cowboy, and then I would just line, I wouldn't tight line, but I would go underneath with black and kind of feather it out this way. And I love taking just literally just black eyeshadow just underneath my eye and nothing above. I think that looks so cool. I don't know why, I just do. So today, I'm going to be, excuse me, my septum is irritating me, Space Cowboy instead of the UFO and the moon rock and stuff like that, and Interstellar. Interstellar is beautiful though, and Pluto's really nice, but it doesn't really show up as good over X-Files and stuff unless you cut your crease with concealer, and I hate doing that. I'm not going to do that right now on a video that's being taken on my phone. It just doesn't sound like it'll work out well. And I only used Space Cowboy a little bit when I first tried this, so I actually really wanted to actually try it for once. And it is really dark still, so it'll look nice on top of X-Files. And if you're not too worried about how cut and precise it is, then it won't end up mattering. So I'm going to start kind of in the middle and work my way down. And by the time I get there, I don't have to worry about how much or how little is in it, because I've already kind of gotten the generalized shape of what I need, because technically speaking, since I'm not using concealer, I can't just I can't just press my eyelids and see where it should be, because this won't work for that. However, I can do what I'm doing, and it seems to be working fine. So I'm just going to keep doing that. Also, although I'm not starting off with a big bang, I'm not really going to edit this video too much, or at all, honestly, just to see the response it gets from just me being me, just to kind of see if people are even going to remotely care if I'm doing these videos. Because if they're not, then I'm going to try to stick more towards Instagram for a little bit longer, and try to build more of a following there before I keep trying to do these videos on here. Okay, so that is pretty much as dark can be. And I know I said you don't want your inner corner looking too dark, and that's because we use something even darker in the inner corner. So if you had put X-Files on too heavy in the inner corner and hadn't just kind of left it be a bit, then this wouldn't look as good. Now here's the thing. I didn't cut my crease with concealer because it would have sticked. I want to use a blending brush to then buff it out just a little bit and up and around. Because I did that the last time with the one look I did that has the greens and the yellows in here, like Abduction and Flying Saucer and Alien. And it looked really nice in my opinion. And a couple people did say it looked nice, and you know, I'll get what I can get, especially attention-wise. I am a huge attention junkie. No, I almost said something else, but I am trying to keep it even under PG-13, just for anyone. You want to be a toddler who wants to do makeup? Be that toddler who does makeup. You won't learn no cuss words from me. That's for sure. As much as I do love Jeffree Star, there is a lot on his channel when it comes to certain sexual puns, or just sexual things in general, and so I was kind of like, you know, as funny as he is, I have yet to see someone who is homosexual, besides John McClane, curse in their videos or make a sexual joke that is just blunt and provocative as it could get. And so I was like, okay, I'm good at not cursing and using curse words, because I find that you kind of sound stupid if you're cursing at someone, because then where's the argument? So I was like, let's create a channel and try to do that. So now we're going in with Black Hole, and like I said, if you can see, it's a bit more blown out. It's not at all cut in perfection. But now I'm going to take Black Hole and try to just get it just under. I'm not at all, I'm starting definitely towards the middle and then working my way up. And I'm actually kind of just patting, and this is a very, very thin, small brush. It's Wet n Wild. It doesn't have a number though, sadly. Sorry. And it is truly spectacular for getting up underneath there and kind of lining, because I don't usually use liners, like I kind of just let it be for what it is usually. But now I'm going to take the brush that I had tightened on, try to get some of it off, and then start with the taper cornered in, start it where the line is, and then just push. I put like a full-blown just line, but now I'm not going to move forwards too much, but I kind of am just a little bit to get a bit of a smokiness going and kind of gradiate it. Also, tears really help. You start producing tears, and I do, because my eyes are pretty sensitive. That's why I keep pushing my lashes down with my fingernail, because if I don't, then I'm not even going to be able to apply the rest of the shadow, because I'll just start watering too much. And I'm going to flip it, I'm going to push inwards, but I'm not going to go past where the line stops. I just want to feather it where it already is inside, to kind of gradiate it even more. But now, and that's the reason I started in the middle and then I went out a bit more, is because now you can see there's kind of a triangle going on, and it's literally all, oh, that looks nice, all done using just the black and kind of buffing it out there, because if you do too much, then you won't be able to kind of push it back a bit and blow it out, because it won't blow out anymore. It'll just kind of create a very, very harsh line. And this isn't harsh, because in natural lighting and outside, which I'm not going to be able to show you sadly right now, it'll just kind of create a shape, which is in most definitely what I was going for. So it's nice to know that worked. It's kind of touching up a bit. Also, something that may irritate people though, is I don't use lashes. So if you're expecting me to show you a good pair of lashes, it'll be very seldom that I do. And if ever, because I don't wear them, I've tried once or twice and my eyes they just went. I tried really small pairs, I tried cutting them, a couple different brands, and it just would not work. And so I was like, okay, my eyelashes are long enough, and although I'm not trying to be cocky, they're not awful, and so I was like, I'll just run through a bit of mascara every now and again, depending on the look, and then I'll be done. Now usually I don't even use mascara, and with this I won't be, because if I add black mascara, or any mascara in general on top of this, in my opinion, and you can do it how you please, but it will take away from this a bit. Because it'll be black on black on black, and then a brownish, sparkly hue, and I'm just kind of buffing it a bit more. In my opinion, that won't work, and it won't look nice. So, I'm not going to do that. Because I don't really find a need to. Because this is kind of just my first video, and so I don't think there's a need to really go full on glam and just be like, oh, okay, do this, 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 and this. But I think this is somewhat of a wearable look for every day. It is still not for the skittish people in the makeup community. It's definitely not exactly natural, but it is something that's very quick and easy to do. So if you're okay with using very dark colors, like me, then it is something that you can, I put together pretty much in about like 5 minutes or so. So that's about it, but I am going to finish off with lips. That somehow I don't see anymore. Oh, they're right in front of me, I'm just crazy. Now this is going to be the difficult part of the video, as I'm using my phone, so again, I don't have a lot of time, also because it cuts off, but I have his liners. I have it in Weirdo and Posh Spice, because Posh Spice is definitely my favorite color of his besides Weirdo. What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to line my Cupid's bow that's not really existent, and then just a bit underneath here. Because just like the trend that's kind of going on up top, I don't want to create too much definition. I'd rather just have it be pretty. I'm actually going to do the inner corners too. Pretty and just kind of blended. And even though it is a bit crazy of a look, you can still make it look to where you were just like, yeah, no, I just took a couple minutes. I had to look nice for the office type of deal, or sexy, because I mean, it's a lot of black, so it looks a bit sultry, in my opinion, kind of. And then I'm also going to be putting gloss on top of it. I'm just using Posh Spice, and I may put some Space Cowboy on it, and I'm also going to be taking down my hair. Hopefully we can get this done really quick though, because the video is going to end soon, so we'll try. All in all, I think his products are absolutely amazing, almost every single one. He never fails to really surprise or impress. I have his liquid highlight, which I didn't realize how sparkly it would be, even though we kept saying it, but in person it is intense. Okay. So now that we have that, I'm just kind of going to add a little bit more. Yeah. I actually kind of like the lighting just because it gives like that weird scratchy type effect where almost in like a really old movie, and it helps kind of with the black look that I'm doing. So because there's not too much black in this, honestly. It's a lot of brown. It could be a lot darker in many senses. So while this is kind of drying down, I'm going to put Space Cowboy on top, and I'll actually show you what it looks like now. Beautiful. See, now in the light you can kind of see that's where the natural lighting comes in. It's just a really pretty brown, purpley, like it's got purple iridescence to it, so at least in my opinion it does. What's funny is that I don't see many people wear Posh Spice. I'm gonna lick it and put it on. I know that sounds weird, but it works. And the finished look will be the actual picture for the video, because I just think that'll work easier than trying to just get it all together in a matter of another like 3 minutes or so, which you may think is, oh sorry, probably isn't nice on the eyes, which you may think isn't too awful to deal with, but it kind of is, just a little bit. It's 30 minutes. Is a pretty long video, but I think it'll be worth it. There's a lot of talking though, because I love to talk. So if you want to consistently hear someone speaking throughout the video, then subscribe to my channel, because you'll hear me talking a lot. This gloss is from actually Victoria's Secret, and it's a sheer flavored gloss, and it's like pineapple-y, kind of vanilla. Actually really good, and it does taste, but it's incredibly thick, so you have to be careful with this. Because it can go soft very quickly, but it actually kind of works with things, like it kind of melts into, oh my god, it kind of, I'll look at it later, it kind of melts into the lips, so it does work really nicely. But this is the final look, so we can take my annoyingly awful Shogun bun down. And I have a very long side cut. Well, undercut actually, technically. So it's gonna look a bit crazy all of a sudden, but it works also with these looks a lot. I think it looks kinda, it makes it look a bit sexier. So here we go. So that is the finished look. Thank you for watching.